What do you do when suffering knocks the breath out of your chest? When life takes a sharp and unexpected turn and nothing makes sense anymore? Do you cry out to heaven, or do you turn away in despair? The story of Job in the Bible, found in chapters 1 and 42, is not a sweet bedtime story. It is raw, it is real, and it might just be the most brutally honest conversation about pain and faith you'll ever encounter. Job was no ordinary man. He was known throughout the land as upright, faithful, and blessed. His wealth was great, his family large and joyful, his name respected. He was the kind of man others admired and envied. But behind the curtain of the physical world, a spiritual conversation was unfolding, one that Job knew nothing about. Satan challenged God, suggesting that Job's faith was shallow, built only on prosperity. "Take away his blessings," Satan said, "and he will curse you to your face." And so, with divine permission but clear boundaries, the unthinkable happened. In a single day, Job lost all his livestock, his servants, and most devastatingly, his sons and daughters. One messenger after another came bearing tragedy, each blow worse than the last. And then came the sores, painful boils that covered him from head to toe. Job sat in ashes, scraping his wounds with broken pottery. His wife, watching his suffering, told him to curse God and die. And his friends, those meant to comfort him, began accusing him of hidden sin. "You must have done something wrong," they insisted. "God is just. This must be your fault." But Job knew better. Not perfect, but blameless, he defended his integrity. He wrestled with deep questions, the kind most of us are too afraid to ask. Why do the innocent suffer? Where is God when the righteous cry out? Why does heaven stay silent? Still, Job clung to one fragile thread: faith. "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him," he declared. This was not blind optimism. It was the cry of a soul that refused to let go of the only anchor left. Job's faith didn't erase the pain. It simply refused to be extinguished by it. And then, at the height of Job's questions, God answered, not with explanations, but with revelation. God didn't defend his actions. He asked Job a series of awe-inspiring questions. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades? Do you give the horse its strength? These weren't lectures. They were reminders. Job didn't need all the answers. He needed to see the greatness, wisdom, and sovereignty of the one he trusted. Humbled and transformed, Job replied, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." His pain didn't vanish, but his perspective did. And in God's grace, restoration followed. Job's health was renewed, his wealth doubled, his family restored. But more than that, Job emerged with a faith no longer dependent on comfort, but rooted in a deep, unshakable encounter with the living God. This isn't just Job's story, it's ours. We all face seasons when suffering strips us bare, when prayers feel unanswered and silence from heaven feels louder than words. But Job teaches us something powerful. Real faith is forged in the fire. Trust is not the absence of questions, it is the choice to believe even when questions remain. If you're walking through darkness right now, take heart. You are not alone. God may be silent, but He is not absent. The same God who restored Job walks with you. His plan is deeper, His timing wiser, His presence constant. Take time to read Job chapters 1 and 42. Let the story speak to your soul. And remember, when everything falls apart, that's often when God is doing His most extraordinary work.